You know what's funny? They thought they could break you, thought they could crack your spirit, watch you crumble and laugh at the rubble they made. But here you are, standing, breathing, existing. That's what eats them alive, that you're still here. See, they didn't want you broken. They needed you broken. They needed to see you on your knees, begging, shattered, because that would make them feel powerful. But here's the catch, my friend. The calmness you've built within you. It's louder than all their screams combined. That quiet resolve, that eerie silence you've mastered, it unnerves them. They don't know what to do with it because calmness, real calmness, it's not the absence of chaos. It's the mastery of it. Let me tell you something real. People love watching others suffer. It's entertainment to them. They poke, prod, and push, hoping for a reaction. They'll strip you of everything and hand you the pieces just to see if you can put them back together. And when you don't flinch, when you don't even blink, that's when their mask slips. That's when they realize they've lost. You see, the world isn't built for the calm. It's built for the loud, the reactive, the predictable. They thrive on fear. They thrive on chaos. But you've done something they'll never understand. You've taken their chaos, their hate, their betrayal, and you've turned it into fuel. You've sat in silence and let it burn you, scar you, shape you. And now, you're untouchable. You've become everything they feared you'd be. They hate that calmness in you because it reminds them of their weakness. People like them. They can't sit with themselves. They can't face the silence because silence reveals the truth. And truth terrifies them. That's why they scream so loud, throw so many punches. They're scared of what's inside. But you? Oh, you've faced your demons, haven't you? You've looked them in the eye and said, "Is that all you've got?" They wanted to break you because they saw something in you they could never be. Strength. Not the kind of strength that throws punches or spits venom. No, the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself. They envy that. They resent it. Because deep down they know they'll never have it. So they tried to strip it from you like thieves in the night. But here's the joke. They can't take what they didn't give you. That strength, that calmness. You built that yourself, brick by brick, scar by scar, and they can't touch it. Oh, they'll try. They'll throw everything at you. Lies, betrayal, humiliation. But every time you refuse to react, every time you stand there with that cold, unbothered stare, you remind them of their failure, and they hate it. You want to know the truth about people? They're cowards, every single one of them. They'll smile in your face and stab you in the back. And when you don't fall, when you don't scream or cry or beg, they'll panic. Because that's not how it's supposed to go, right? They expect tears. They expect rage. But when you give them silence, Oh, that silence. It's deafening. They'll call you cold, heartless, unfeeling. Let them. That's their guilt speaking, not yours. Because they know what they did. They know the games they played. And your calmness? It's a mirror reflecting all their filth back at them. But let me tell you this, your calmness isn't weakness. It's not surrender. It's power, real power, the kind they'll never understand, the kind that doesn't need validation or applause. It's the power of someone who's been through hell and come out the other side, not just alive, but unshaken. And that terrifies them. So let them talk, let them scheme, let them try to tear you down, because every time they fail, and they will fail, you grow stronger. Every insult, every betrayal, every knife in the back, it's just another lesson. Another brick in the fortress you're building around yourself. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to be understood. You're here to survive, to thrive, to prove to yourself, not them, never them, that you're unbreakable. They wanted you to break, but your calmness, it broke them instead. And that's the sweetest revenge of all. So wear your scars like armor. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Because at the end of the day, their opinions, their games, their betrayals, they mean nothing. Nothing. You've already won. Let them try, my friend. Let them throw their worst at you. Because you've got something they'll never have. Calmness, strength, power. And that's what makes you unstoppable. You see, this calmness you have, it isn't just survival. It's strategy. It's war. People like them. They operate on chaos. They thrive on reactions. The moment you scream back, cry out, or throw fists, they win. Because that's what they want. They want proof they got to you. Proof that their poison seeped into your bloodstream and made you weak. But you've done something extraordinary. You've taken all their noise, all their venom, and swallowed it whole without a flinch. And now they're left wondering, why isn't it working? Why isn't he breaking? It drives them mad. Because when someone throws fire at you, and all you give them back is ice, they don't know what to do with themselves. That silence of yours, it's not just calm, it's control. And control is something they'll never have. People who play dirty, who stab you when you're not looking, they're not strong. They're desperate. They're flailing in the dark, hoping something, anything, will make them feel powerful. And when you refuse to give them that satisfaction, you strip them of their power. You render them useless. Oh, they'll hate you for it. They'll call you names, spread lies, twist your story into something ugly. But the truth is, they're terrified of you. Your calmness is a storm they can't weather, a reflection they can't bear to look at. And the more you keep it together, the more they fall apart. You ever notice how the loudest people are always the weakest? They shout, they boast, they scream their insecurities into the void, hoping someone will mistake it for strength. But strength, real strength, it's quiet. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need approval. And that's why you terrify them. You're not playing their game. You're sitting back, watching them unravel, and they can't stand it. You've got a choice here, you know. You can let their noise drown you out, or you can let it fade into the background like static on a broken radio. You've already proven you're stronger than they'll ever be. But this is where it gets interesting. Because now you get to watch them stumble, watch them choke on their own bitterness, watch them try to claw their way back to the power they think they've lost. But it's gone. You took it the moment you chose calm over chaos. The moment you let their insults roll off your back like water. And they'll spend the rest of their lives chasing a victory they'll never get. But don't get too comfortable. Don't mistake calmness for complacency. This strength you have, it's a weapon. And like any weapon, it needs to be sharpened. You've got to keep your edge, keep your focus, because they're not done with you. Not by a long shot. People like that, they don't quit. They'll keep coming, keep testing you, keep trying to drag you down to their level. And that's where you have to be careful. See, it's not enough to stay calm. You've got to stay ahead. You've got to see their moves before they make them. Predict their games before they even start. It's a chess match, and you've already proven you're the better player. But the moment you slip, the moment you let your guard down, they'll pounce. They're waiting for it. So, don't give it to them. Keep them guessing. Keep them on edge. Let them think they've got you figured out. Then flip the script. That's how you win. Not by fighting fire with fire, but by smothering it with cold, calculated silence. They wanted you to be the weak one, the victim, the one who couldn't take the heat. But what they didn't realize is that you're the fireproof kind. You've been through hell already. You've faced storms that would have leveled most people. And instead of breaking, you built yourself into something stronger, something they can't touch. And that's the real joke, isn't it? They thought they could destroy you. But all they did was make you unbreakable. Every insult, every betrayal, every shove, they were just tools. Tools you used to shape yourself into the person you are now. Calm, strong, untouchable. But don't forget what they did. Don't let their smiles fool you. They'll act like it's all in the past, like it was just a misunderstanding. But deep down, you know the truth. You know what they're capable of. And you know they'll do it again, the first chance they get. So, stay sharp, stay ready. Keep that calmness of yours. But don't let it turn into naivety. Trust is a dangerous thing, my friend. And in a world like this, it's a weapon they'll use against you every time. They wanted you to break, wanted you to shatter into a million pieces they could sweep under the rug and forget about. But instead, you've become their worst nightmare, a reminder of everything they'll never be. Calm, strong, unshakable. And that's power. Real power. The kind they'll never understand. The kind that doesn't scream or shout or beg for attention. It just is. Unstoppable. Unyielding. Eternal. You know what I find fascinating? People like them. They're fragile. Not just weak. Fragile. They build these castles of lies, these masks of confidence pretending to be invincible. But underneath, they're scared little kids, hiding from their own shadows. And when someone like you comes along, someone who doesn't play by their rules, it shakes them to their core. They're not used to calm. They're not used to strength without a show. They're used to noise, to desperation, to people breaking under the weight of their games. But you're different. You're the quiet storm they never saw coming. The kind that doesn't make a sound, but leaves destruction in its wake. Let me tell you something about silence. Silence is terrifying. It's a mirror. And most people can't stand to see their reflection. That's why they scream, why they lash out. Because if they stop, even for a second, they'll have to face themselves. And trust me, they don't like what they see. But you? Oh, you've mastered it. You've turned silence into a weapon. While they're out there shouting, trying to convince the world they're strong, you're standing still, watching, waiting. And that drives them insane. Because they can't read you. They can't figure you out. You've taken away their control. And for people like them, that's the ultimate defeat. You see, control is everything. And the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop giving them power over you, you take it all back. That's why your calmness is so dangerous. It's not just strength, it's defiance. It's rebellion. It's a big fat middle finger to everyone who thought they could break you. And the best part? You're not even trying. You're just being, existing, living on your own terms. And that's the kind of power they'll never understand. The kind that doesn't need an audience, doesn't need validation. It just is. And that scares the hell out of them. You've done something extraordinary, my friend. You've taken their best shots, the lies, the betrayal, the humiliation, and you've turned them into fuel. You've let their hate forge you into something stronger, something they can't touch. And now you're untouchable, invincible, a force they'll never understand. But here's the thing, they're not done. They'll keep coming, keep poking, prodding, trying to find a crack in your armor, because that's what people like them do. They can't stand the idea of someone being stronger than them. It makes them feel small, insignificant, and they'll do anything to make that feeling go away. But you're ready for that, aren't you? You've been through the fire. You faced the darkness. And now, there's nothing they can throw at you that you haven't already survived. Every insult, every betrayal, every knife in the back, it's just another scar, another reminder of what you've overcome. And those scars, they're not weaknesses. They're proof that you're still here. Proof that you're stronger than anything they'll ever throw at you. But don't get comfortable. Don't let your guard down, because the moment you do, they'll strike. They're waiting for it, waiting for you to slip, to show even a hint of weakness. And when that moment comes, they'll pounce. That's why you've got to stay sharp, stay vigilant. Keep that calmness of yours, but don't let it turn into complacency. Because this world is not kind to people like you, people who refuse to break, people who refuse to play by the rules. This world will chew you up and spit you out the moment you let your guard down. But you're not like the rest. You've got something they'll never have, something they'll never understand. You've got control over yourself, over your emotions, over your reactions. And that's the ultimate power. The kind that can't be bought, can't be stolen. It's something you've earned, something you fought for, and now it's yours. So, let them come. Let them try. Let them throw their worst at you, because you've already won. Every time they fail to break you, every time they fall apart while you stand tall, you remind them of what they'll never be. And that's the sweetest revenge of all. But don't forget. Don't ever forget what they did. Don't let their fake smiles and hollow apologies fool you. They'll act like it's all in the past, like it doesn't matter anymore. But you and I both know the truth. They'll never change. They'll never stop. And the moment you let your guard down, they'll strike. So stay sharp. Stay ready. Keep your calmness, your strength, your power, because that's what makes you unstoppable. That's what makes you you. And that's something they'll never take away. They wanted you to break. They needed you to break. But instead, your calmness broke them. And now you're free. Free to live. Free to thrive. Free to be everything they feared you'd become. And that's the greatest victory of all. You know what they're thinking right now, don't you? They're not planning how to fix things, how to apologize, how to undo what they've done. No. That would require a conscience. And people like them, they sold theirs a long time ago. What they're really thinking is, how do we come back from this? How do they convince themselves they're still in control? That you didn't beat them? No, They'll never admit that. But you did. You beat them the moment you didn't react. The moment you looked at their chaos and said, "Not today." That silence of yours, that terrifying calm, it's not just a weapon, it's a mirror. Every time you refuse to play their game, you hold that mirror up, and they're forced to look at themselves. And oh, they hate what they see. They see their weakness, their insecurities, their lies. And that reflection, it eats them alive. They'll try to twist it, blame you, paint you as the villain. But deep down, they know the truth. They're not angry because you hurt them. They're angry because you didn't let them hurt you. You've done something they never expected. You didn't just survive, you thrived. You took their betrayal, their games, their cruelty, and turned it into fuel. Every time they thought they'd broken you, you came back stronger. And that scares them. Because people like them, they don't know how to handle strength like yours. They're used to power over people. They're used to fear, to manipulation, to watching others crumble under their weight. But you flipped the script. You made them powerless. Because calmness, real calmness, is unshakable. It's the kind of strength they'll never have. And that's why they can't let you go. They'll keep coming, you know. They'll keep testing you, pushing you, trying to find the crack in your armor. Because that's all they know. It's their survival instinct. But here's the secret. They've already lost. The moment they underestimated you, the moment they thought you'd break, they set themselves up for failure. But you're not done, are you? You're not just gonna sit back and let them keep playing their games. No, you're smarter than that, stronger than that. You've seen their tricks, their lies, their masks, and now you know how to beat them at their own game. You don't need to fight fire with fire. That's what they want. They want a reaction, a show, something they can use against you. But you're better than that. You fight fire with ice, cold, calculated, unstoppable. You don't give them what they want. You give them what they fear. Silence, calm, control. Because control, that's everything. They think they have it, but it's an illusion. A cheap parlor trick. Real control doesn't need to be flaunted. It doesn't need to scream or shout or demand attention. It just is. And you've mastered it. You've become something they'll never understand, something they'll never be. You've turned pain into power, chaos into calm, weakness into strength, and that terrifies them. Because it forces them to see what they could have been if they weren't so busy tearing others down. But don't let their fear become your burden. Don't carry their guilt, their shame, their insecurities. They're not yours to bear. You've already carried enough, haven't you? You've carried betrayal, heartbreak, loss. And yet, Here you are, still standing, still fighting, still calm. But here's the thing about calmness. It's not easy. It's not something you wake up with one day. It's earned, built, fought for, and it's fragile. All it takes is one slip, one moment of weakness, and they'll pounce. That's why you gotta protect it. Guard it like your life depends on it. Because in a world like this, it does. You've gotta stay sharp, stay focused. Don't let their noise drown out your silence. Don't let their chaos infect your calm. You've come too far, fought too hard to let them take it away. Let them hate you. Let them fear you. Let them try and fail and try again. Because every time they do, every time they throw their worst at you and you don't flinch, you remind them of their failure. You remind them of your strength. And that's the ultimate revenge. They wanted you to break. They needed you to break, but instead, your calmness broke them. And now, they'll spend the rest of their lives chasing something they'll never catch. Because calmness, true calmness, it's untouchable, unstoppable, eternal. So let them try, let them scheme, let them plot and whisper and lie. It doesn't matter, because you've already won. You've taken their best shots and turned them into nothing. And now you're free. Free to live, free to thrive, free to be everything they feared you'd become. And that's the real joke, isn't it? They thought they could destroy you, but all they did was make you stronger. And now, they'll spend the rest of their lives wondering how they lost. You think it's over, don't you? You think because you stood tall, because you kept your calm, that they'll leave you alone now. Oh, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the story doesn't end there. See, people like them? They're addicts, addicted to control, addicted to chaos, addicted to watching others crumble under their weight. And you're their biggest failure, their unsolvable puzzle, their broken trophy. They'll never stop trying, never stop scheming, because every moment you don't break, every breath you take without flinching, it's like a knife in their chest. They'll obsess over it, replay it in their minds, wondering where they went wrong, how they lost control. And that obsession, it'll eat them alive. But here's the beauty of it. They'll destroy themselves trying to destroy you. Every lie they tell, every trap they set, every pathetic little move they make, it'll all backfire because you're not playing their game anymore. You're not even on the same board. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. They were never in control. Not really. All that power they thought they had, it was borrowed, fake, built on fear, manipulation, and the cracks in other people's foundations. But you've taken all of that away. You've shown them what real power looks like. Power that doesn't need an audience. Power that doesn't need to scream to be heard. You've built something they'll never have. True, unshakable strength. And that terrifies them? They'll call you heartless for it. Cold, unfeeling. They'll say you've changed, that you're not the person you used to be. And you know what? They're right. You have changed. You're not the person you were before they tried to break you. You're something else now. Something stronger. Something unstoppable. But don't get too comfortable, my friend, because calmness, as powerful as it is, can be a double-edged sword. It's easy to fall into complacency, to think you've won, to let your guard down. And that's when they strike. That's when they sink their claws back in, whisper their lies, and try to worm their way into your head. You've got to stay vigilant. Keep your focus. Because this world, it doesn't reward calmness. It doesn't celebrate strength. It feeds on weakness, thrives on chaos, and punishes those who refuse to play along. But you've already proven you're different. You've already shown them that you don't need their approval, their validation, their rules. And that's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you unstoppable. They'll say you're arrogant, that you're too proud, too stubborn, too unwilling to compromise. Let them, because they don't understand what it took to get here. They don't understand the nights you spent alone, the battles you fought in silence, the weight you carried when no one else was watching. They don't know the price of calmness, the sacrifices you made to build it, the scars you had to earn to protect it. And they never will, because people like them, they're too busy running from their own shadows to see the truth. But you faced your demons. You've looked them in the eye and said, do your worst. And now there's nothing left for them to take. Nothing left for them to break. Because you've already been through the worst, and you're still here, standing, breathing, winning. But don't let their failures make you soft. Don't let their weakness become your weakness. Because the moment you pity them, the moment you lower your guard, they'll strike. And this time, they'll come for everything. You gotta stay sharp, stay strong, because calmness, as powerful as it is, can also be lonely. It separates you from the noise, from the chaos, from the world they live in. But that's the price of strength. That's the price of being unbreakable. So wear your calmness like armor. Let it protect you. Let it remind you of who you are, of what you've overcome, and never, ever let them take it away. They wanted you to break. They needed you to break. But instead, your calmness broke them. And now, they'll spend the rest of their lives trying to figure out how you did it, how you survived, how you thrived. But they'll never understand. Because calmness isn't something you can fake. It's not something you can buy or borrow. It's earned, built, forged in the fires of pain and struggle and loss. And that's something they'll never have. So, let them try. Let them hate you. Let them fear you. Because every time they do, every time they fail to bring you down, you remind them of their weakness. You remind them of your strength. And that's the ultimate victory. They thought they could break you, thought they could shatter you, destroy you, leave you in pieces. But instead, you became something they'll never be. Calm, strong, unstoppable. And now, you'll carry that calmness with you wherever you go, as a weapon, as a shield, as a reminder of everything you've overcome. And that's what makes you truly powerful. You'll hear their whispers in the dark, feel their knives at your back, see their shadows stalking your steps. They won't stop. They'll come for your calmness, your strength, your resolve. They'll dig and claw and scrape, trying to pull you back into the chaos they thrive on, because that's all they know, how to destroy. And you're the one thing they can't break. That's what keeps them awake at night. That's what makes them hate you with every ounce of their being. But don't you dare flinch. Don't you dare let them see you bleed. Because the moment you do, they'll pounce. They'll tear into you like wolves, feeding off your pain, your fear, your doubt. That's what they live for. The moment they think you're vulnerable. But you're not vulnerable, are you? You're untouchable, unstoppable. And that's their worst nightmare. They wanted to break you, but instead you broke them. And now they'll live with that failure, that shame, that emptiness for the rest of their miserable lives. So let them come, let them try, let them hate you, fear you, curse your name. It doesn't matter, because you've already won. And in the end, their screams, their chaos, their noise, it'll all fade. And all that will be left is your calmness, cold, unyielding, eternal. They'll never stop trying to destroy you, but they'll fail again and again and again, because you're the storm they'll never tame, the silence they'll never shatter, the calmness that will haunt them long after they're gone. And that is the joke they'll never understand.